All right, let's head into the shop and get another update on the Trans Am. There's all kinds of stuff out here. You got a Coyote. You got this funky part of a Roadrunner that looks like a trailer. I don't know what's going on. There's stuff going on everywhere. But let's go in and take another quick look at the progress on the Fireyote. Doesn't look like much has been done, but a lot has. All right, let's do the intro and jump into it. One of the things that we did is we cut these corners out. These were behind the fenders on both sides. These things. These things. Sorry for shaking, holding the phone. This used to be here. Now it's not. And what's going to go in there is a flat piece of metal that's going to smooth this firewall. And down here are templates made. For each side, they're going to be cut out of 22 gauge sheet metal. It'll be a flat panel here, which is hidden underneath the fenders. But the reason we're doing that, one, to make it smoother, and two, this is approximately where the turbos and the hot side, the exhaust side, is going to come out and come down. So it's gaining us a lot of room. And now that we're not running factory air, this side's really not needed anymore. So the other thing that I've been doing is building patch panels. There's one welded in here, one welded in here. This one's partially welded. And these were holes for air conditioning. This was the blower van. On this side, that was where the master cylinder attached, really thick piece of metal. This was an electrical connection. This was some rubber grommet. And we're making all these little tiny pieces, all these plates. Oh, this one. And Mike tigs them in, and then we hammer them, grind them, and then it'll all get smooth, puttied, and Mikey will paint this the factory color. This was a horrible set of wrinkles. So when GM builds these unibodies, they just crunch the metal. They just crunch it, press it to make the transmission tunnel, and it looks horrible. I mean, it just looks horrible. So we cut it out, made a template, gonna weld that in, be nice and smooth, and it'll look really good all it's done. Tons of time. But the big progress is inside. So we now have a complete roof with all the gussets. So the cert of this chassis requires all these gussets put in for safety. You can see a bunch over there. Funny car cage is all done. And we've started frame rails. So this is a frame rail and the down bars. Come around back. And then we're also putting the rear end in and determining ride height. So it's just the housing, axles, and a couple different wheels, thanks to Dwayne in BC for letting me borrow some different wheels so we can look at rim width, back spacing, that kind of stuff. But and then we got the back bar, which will be where the parachute mount, trailer hitch, rear bumper assembly is going to mount to. You can see Mike's done an amazing job of notching and welding, but it's taking shape. Lots of bars are in. Just got some reinforcing bars to go between the down bar and the frame rail, but you can see how high that bar comes up into the car compared to what used to be there, which was all the way down, used to be down here. So then the leaf spring will mount, the axle will go above the leaf spring, and then we'll get the sliders and boxes in, but lots of time. And then determining what size wheel and tire combo. So these are Dwayne's street tires, Dwayne's race tires. So this rear housing is actually a Ford bolt pattern, because it was the axles were given to me by my other buddy Mike, and they happen to work, so we'll run a Ford bolt pattern in back. So I don't own any Ford bolt patterns, so thanks to these guys. So I did have this car mini tubbed, and in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done it. We probably should have went with full tubs, and I could have got a bigger tire and wheel combo in and got the car a little bit lower stance, but it is what it is, and but we're making good progress. The seat is actually mounted on the back. The floor mounts are not done yet, but it is where it's going to be, and we're really close to steering column. So steering column and determining where the brakes are going to be. So the seat is a lot further back than a factory seat, so the steering column is going to come a lot further back than stock. That's the steering column. That's a TRZ part, and that'll go through the firewall. Through this little ball right here. And then we'll come out to the rack right here, which we got to build all the steering shaft assembly. We got this cool, these cool little knuckles from Racecraft here that'll be part of the steering shaft. And steering wheel, 6-inch extension with a quick disconnect. I got it taped up, keep from getting scratched up. But that's the Motion Raceworks steering wheel and quick disconnect kit. So that'll be going in here pretty quick. And so next is rear suspension, firewall, get the engine back in. We got to get the firewall done. The engine and transmission will go back in, and then the outer frame rail bars will be tied to the dash bar, which is inside here. We'll come out, and then we'll attach somewhere down here. And there's just a lot of steps to this, a lot of thinking ahead. You got to think 8 steps ahead. So the engine's got to be in, kind of got to have the front end where we know it's going to be. And then we have to have the turbos, because the turbo placement and the front bars have to be done at the same time, because the turbos will end up mounting to those, and the height of that bar is really important. So got to think ahead, got to plan ahead. Otherwise, you're doing rework. And we've done a little bit of that because of some stuff I've done over the last couple of years. But probably in the next few days, this thing will be on the ground, a rolling chassis. We got some tabs to put on. One of the things we're going to do here pretty quick is mount the parachute, which it's got this cool little, got these tabs. So that's the parachute release. And we got a window net kit that has to go on. And then we'll fab up the door bars. But we're not going to put the door bars in yet, because having the door bars in and working on the car, crawling in and out of those, it's just a real pain in the ass. So they'll go in last, like maybe not for a long time. And we'll keep working on the inside. We got to cut the factory dash around A-pillar bars. So we're going to be doing that here pretty quick. So a lot of work inside the car, and not having the door bars is nice. We'll have them notched, cut, ready to go, and then down the road, we'll weld them in, like before it's time to certify the chassis. So that's kind of what's going on. Lots of progress. It's coming along quickly, putting a lot of time in. And we'll do another update in a few days. Thanks.